Hi everyone and welcome to Divine Resolution Tarot. For those of you who are new, my name is Chanel, and for those of you who are returning, thank you so much for allowing me to read for all of you. So this reading is intended for my fire signs. This is a bi-weekly or mid-month love reading. We're going to be taking a look at the energies that are coming towards you for the next almost 2 weeks. It'll go until November 1st. So I'm just going to shuffle one more time. Then I'm going to pull your cards. If you're in need of a personal reading, I'm going to be switching up my store soon. So I advise you to perhaps hold off on booking it. But what I would say to do is sign up for my email list because I'm having a sale pretty soon here. So you'll be notified when that comes up. And then I'm going to be changing some things around in my store so that I can offer readings at a cheaper price because now that I'm doing readings kind of more by element, that frees up my time. So just kind of bear with me. Make sure you're on my email list so you get notified about sales that are coming up. And if you're watching for a fire sign, you might need to reverse the roles. Also, after I do this reading, there'll be a link in the description box if you're curious to know more about how your person feels. That's going to be a completely separate reading from this one. So you'll be able to look into your person's thoughts, feelings, their intentions, what they want, anything they're not telling you, all kinds of really great stuff. And you can find that link down below, like I said. Let's get one more oracle card, and then I'm going to take a look at your next 2 weeks in love. Ooh, romantic feelings. That's a good one. Oh, you got the dreaded Eight of Cups reversed. You know what that means. Somebody returning into your life, or perhaps you returning to an idea that you have left behind. For you fire signs, as I'm looking at this, this is kind of an interesting spread just for the simple fact that it feels like the overall energy is some movement that you weren't expecting, okay? As I'm looking at your energy for the next few weeks, you have the Seven of Pentacles. So I feel like you've been pretty patient about a situation, but I also feel like with this Ace of Pentacles in the reverse, that this is something that perhaps you've given up on, or you felt as though there was just no movement. It seems as though you've turned your attention to something else, which it looks like maybe some of you are moving. For others of you, you're planning just your life. What does your future look like, right? I'm seeing that there's been some kind of an ending here in regards to your relationship or your romantic situation. But what's odd is that I don't feel like it was discussed. Okay, so I feel like this could have been like the slow fade, or perhaps you just stopped reaching out to this person and then they stopped reaching out to you, or vice versa, right? Could go either way. It doesn't too much matter. But I'm seeing that after what feels like an ending, which it's weird because nobody expressed the ending, it just is like maybe a pause. There's something moving forward for you in the next few weeks. I think maybe intuitively you kind of thought that eventually this would happen. There's an energy of feeling as though somebody may have done something to you in the past, or currently they're doing something to you that's making you view the situation in a different way, okay? It kind of feels like somebody owes someone else an apology in regards to this, what I'm seeing here, because when I'm looking at how you're viewing the situation, you got the Hanging Man in the reverse. So it's like, wow, now that I have hindsight, I see that I don't really like the way that person treated me. Or now that I have hindsight, I realize maybe I need to talk to this person about the way I treated them, right? There's an energy here of movement, but there is no communication, which is really odd, okay? It's like maybe you're in your mind thinking about your last situation and starting to realize that things did not end the way you wanted them to, right? And I think that's coming from the Seven of Pentacles energy, where you're really looking at your life, your future, and what you want for yourself. There's kind of a realization of like, okay, well, I think that I want XYZ, but I also feel like I kind of want it with this specific person. And I'm not exactly clear about what even happened within our connection, right? So I feel like there's this realization that this is over. If something doesn't happen soon, if someone doesn't take action soon or reach out soon, this isn't going anywhere, right? It's like you've hit kind of this roadblock. I'm seeing the Eight of Cups in the reverse for what you're taking away from this situation. So I feel like as you're coming out of this period of reflection, you're realizing that there's more potential to this situation than perhaps you at one time saw, right? There's the energy of feeling like I really need to get some more clarity. I need to figure out why things happened the way they did. And then that way, even if this isn't my person, at least I have closure, or at least I've given them closure. Or if there's an opportunity for some sort of reconciliation, I should figure that out, because I think with this, what I'm seeing here, it's kind of all or nothing. It's like either you're with this person or you don't speak at all, right? And so you're going through another period of not speaking. And this time feels a little bit different to me with what I'm seeing here. I feel like you're really starting to think like, okay, what if I never spoke to this person again? How would that make me feel? I always kind of assumed they'd be a part of my life in some capacity, but now I feel like they're just not, right? As I'm looking at your spread, it's interesting because what you want for the next few weeks is actually the 10 of Cups in the reverse. So I feel like if you've had trouble deciding, do you want to move on with this person? Do you want to return to someone else? Because this hanging man energy is kind of showing me that you've been in a space of limbo. It's like you're wanting very much to start making some decisive action, and again, because of this Seven of Pentacles, I feel like that's because you're really thinking about what you want for your future. Whereas maybe in the past, you were just kind of living in the moment, or you were enjoying connections or situations. You're getting very clear about where you see yourself in the next 5-10 years, and who do you want that to be with? Whereas I feel like in the past, perhaps that wasn't something that you were as focused on, right? So let's clarify this 10 of Cups in the reverse for your desires. The Tower, what? Okay, so you're so ready for a change in your life, I feel like, right? There's an energy here of you probably feeling like you've been doing the same thing over and over, or maybe you've just been allowing things to happen to you. And it's like, no, I'm going to make some choices. I'm going to take some action. I'm ready for something different, right? I feel like you're coming to the realization in the next few weeks that you're really actually ready for commitment, So for some of you, that's Seven of Pentacles, you've been waiting for a while because you could have gotten out of a relationship, right? You could have been working on healing your heart, because I'm seeing this Three of Swords in the reverse. For others of you, it could be like you needed not just time to heal, but reflect. You could have been looking at the past. For some of you, going back and revisiting past situations and thinking like, maybe I should contact my ex and see, what's up with that. There's an energy of you. It's almost like you had to go back, figure out everything in your life, figure out why things happened, where you stood, so that you could really finally pack it up and move forward once and for all, okay? So I feel like you're coming to the realization in the next few weeks about what's important to you, who's important to you, what's worth your time, right? You're being a lot more protective of your time. And I like that very much for you fire signs. Now, Two of Swords in the reverse for how your environment is affecting you. I feel like you've been in this period of reflection or silence. And there's an energy here of you deciding that you need to communicate, right? And that's what I was kind of seeing here, where it's like, okay, it's getting to a point where if I don't do something, I'm going to end up losing this person. I need to talk to them. I need to let them know that maybe I was silent or maybe I've been quiet, but it's just because I had a lot on my mind. It's not really about them. I feel like what you've been going through has a lot more to do with you than with the people that you're romantically involved with, or with the person you're involved with. So let's take a look at your Two of Swords in the reverse, because I feel like this is actually a pretty good card. Even if you don't think that there's an opportunity with this person, I feel as though you're getting the clarity around what would need to be done. to make this situation work, right? And maybe in the past, that's something that I feel like you didn't have because you weren't having those types of discussions. And maybe you weren't discussing those things because you weren't having thoughts about the future with this person, right? But I feel like this person, they're kind of in a space right now where it feels like they've left the ball in your court. And I think that's because they're having a really hard time telling what you want out of the situation. I feel like this person has always wanted you, you know, if you do have someone in your life that you're dealing with, and you actually make them very happy, right? I think the hard part here is just that when they were giving you attention, maybe you weren't reciprocating because you weren't thinking about it like that. You were more like living in the moment. Whereas now that you've started thinking about your future, you're like, wow, this is someone that I'd really like to move the connection forward with. But I don't even know if they'd be interested because when they wanted to be with me, I was kind of aloof or I was kind of elusive, right? Your advice is actually the High Priestess. So I feel like you should trust your gut on this, whatever your intuition is telling you. You got attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. Romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. And then you got soulmate in the reverse. Yes, this is your soulmate. So I kind of feel like you've been super on the fence about whether or not this person is who you're supposed to be with. I feel like with the High Priestess being your advice card, that's really encouraging you to tap into your higher self, right? With this Wheel of Fortune here, I think this has been divinely orchestrated from what I'm seeing, but I feel like the issue is that perhaps you didn't trust the connection or you didn't trust the way you felt about this person. It seems like there's been a lot of doubt between the two of you that have caused situations in your relationship or your situationship to kind of go awry, right? There could have been too many people involved. It could have been that one of you felt as though the other one betrayed them. There's an energy of kind of coming to the realization of like, whoa, I had what I wanted all this time, but I guess at the time that I had it, I didn't even know what I wanted, right? So now if you're feeling this urge to kind of get more clarity or to reach out to somebody, I feel like the advice here is to trust that because you're feeling that for a reason, right? And at the end of the day, the worst that can happen is like, no, thank you, you know, and then either way, like you'll have the clarity to be able to know what direction you're moving on, because I really think that has like the most bearing on this situation. You're more focused on which way am I going, right? What direction am I taking? So whatever you discover, that's going to help you decide, right? King of Swords in the reverse is showing me that not only has there been a lot of doubt, but there hasn't been enough conversation, you know, honest conversation. And I feel like that kind of happens when people like are playing the game, right? You're maybe just dating or you're getting to know someone, you're playing hard to get, you're not willing to show all your cards, but you actually have the King of Swords in the reverse and the Queen of Swords in the reverse. So it's like when you deal with this person, you always have your guard up and you're very like, okay, I can only tell them this much of how I feel. And then I have to gauge their reaction and either pull back or move forward. You get what I mean? There's two people here that would be a perfect match, but they don't seem to know it, right? And that's because the discussions are not happening. So I feel like you're being urged to try to do that, at least just to get clarity about what direction you're going to move forward in, because I see you doing a lot of thinking about that. All right, fire signs, this has been your bi-weekly or mid-month love reading. I hope this was able to provide you with clarity about your situation and what's coming towards you. I'm going to clean all these up and I'm going to start pulling some cards to dig into your person's energy so we can get a deeper look of like their feelings towards you and what they actually want out of your connection. If that's something that you're interested in, like I said, the description box will have the link for you and I will see you on the other side. All right, you take care. Bye.